Patrick Davey joining us from WorkSafeBC on this Thursday afternoon. It's getting hot outside.
It's smoking hot. I think when I came up here it was 29 degrees and it's expected to go even warmer tomorrow.
Yeah, record-breaking heat is what we're looking for as we head into the last weekend of June. And so a very timely topic today then, Patrick, that we're talking about working in the heat. A lot of people do in this town. Yeah,
yeah. We look at it, we've got farming, construction, and there's a lot of potential for heat stress and heat stroke out there. So when we look at what that is, it's the body has a natural cooling system, and when the body can't do its job cooling, that's when it starts leading to heat stress, and we start having a plethora of issues.
What are the potential risks of working in the heat? Like what are the main things that people end up falling victim to? Heat stroke?
Heat stroke. Now, heat stress starts with basically irritability, your kind of loss of focus, you're going to be headaches, fatigue. That's when you're still doing the heavy sweating. As that progresses towards heat stroke, those times when you stop sweating, those times when you start having seizures, convulsions, and unconsciousness. So there's a whole range.
Okay. So who's most vulnerable? I know it's, the elderly probably, children?
You know, I think it's an equal opportunity hazard. Anybody, especially those people that are working outside, not so much in the office, but you look in Kamloops, you're working outside, construction, out in the fields, it's more likely to be you. But just remember too that people inside can also be exposed to heat stress. Look at places like steel mills, pulp mills, where they're next to heat processes. Last year, there was 27 workers that lost days of work because of heat stress. And they came from the usual places: construction, forestry, road construction. You think of the people on the bridge right now, what they're experiencing.
I know.
Yeah.
And there's so much road construction going on in our city right now. It's hot on the roads. It's hot to be out on the pavement, and they're working hard. I notice a lot of roofers out there right now. It's the last place I'd want to be.
There is no shade.
No.
Look at the traffic control people.
Yeah. Can you be trained to prevent or to be aware and as a worker?
And I think this is what it's all about. It's about being trained to recognize the signs and symptoms and what the plan is, how you're going to address it. And I did bring some things with you to talk to you about a little later today. But really, it starts with training and having a plan in place.
And do employers have to have a plan in place?
Yeah, first of all, they need to do an assessment. Do they have workers that are going to be exposed to those situations where they're going to have heat stress? Are they going to be outside? Are they going to be exposed to higher humidities? What are they doing? We tend to look at it, not the people who are just standing around, but the people who are doing moderate to heavy tasks, construction, that type of thing.
But the employee has the right to say, I'm too hot, I can't do this, like I need to stop, I need to take a break.
The employee always has the right to do that. And, the employer has to look into that to address the issues.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add about this? It's about being smart. You got to be drinking a ton of water, obviously. Sunscreen, being careful with your skin. There's a lot going on there.
Well, there's a lot of things that the employer can and must do when they have that plan. They've got to look at a few things. One of them really is, we got back to the training of signs and symptoms. And that's not only yourself, but look at your coworker also. Look at your personal monitoring. Is your heart pounding? Look at having available cool water, juice available. So you're dehydrating, hydrate. Looking at having a supervisor that can also detect the signs and symptoms and do something about it. Have a plan in place.
Absolutely.
When you have those controls in place, there's different things you can do. There's different types of controls: ventilation, air conditioning, local cooling, fans. But how about if you're outside? So we could talk about kind of work planning. Maybe you want to do the hard work in the morning. Maybe you want to do this over in the shade. Maybe you want to change up when and where you do it.
Absolutely. There's a lot of options out there. And I think it's important for certain staff to be trained to recognize it, because some workers, perhaps junior people on the job, might not want to say anything. And they're doing themselves a disservice by not speaking up. So
really it's about the supervisors and the workers knowing the signs and symptoms.
Absolutely.
Having a plan to address it.
Absolutely. Patrick Davey, a pleasure to have you on the show. It's going to be hot out there, so people need to take heed of this advice if they're working out in that heat, and be safe.
Can I just say that normally safety doesn't just happen, you have to plan to happen. And so if the employers and workers haven't planned for a heat stress program right now, this is an excellent time to start. We can go to our website, WorkSafeBC. We've got all kinds of materials on heat stress. We've got toolbox meetings, ways to educate your employees.
Fantastic, Patrick. The website is on the screen right now, WorkSafeBC.com. We are back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.